Why
Y'all
is the
gotta listen to
FBI
this.
arresting landlords across America?
Finally, the Department of Justice is now investigating the rent prices. And for you landlords, your days of price gouging are over. Now, shout out to Uprise, Rhode Island, because they published a story about how the FBI had raided an office in Atlanta called Cortland Management because of price fixing for rent. Now, the Department of Justice had launched this investigation and then issued out a limited subpoena in order to grab some information about how this property management company by the name of Cortland Management had been fixing the rent prices since 2016. Now, the story actually entails this software called RealPage, and it's a software that is sold to landlords who own like large properties in order to tell them how to determine rent rates. And that's normally fine, except RealPages covers about 60 to 80% of all rental properties across the United States. Now, according to Uprise, the scheme allegedly works by encouraging landlords to adopt the software RealPage's pricing recommendations, which most landlords do about 80 or 90% of the time. This coordinated effort amongst landlords to follow the software's suggested drive up rental prices by reducing the availability of units. The goal is to prevent landlords from undervaluing their properties, thereby ensuring higher rents nationwide. So let me break the scheme down to you. So say a landlord has 100 units and the price is fixed at $1,200 a month per unit. Let's just say they're all 2-bedroom units. Now, the landlord goes and gets that RealPages software and it says increase the rent to $1,500 and then make only 20 of those units available, even though the landlord would still have 80 more units to rent. So now me, the consumer, is going to the landlord's property management website and I'm seeing these apartments that are nice, but they're not available. So then I rent, but 19 other people rent. Now, the landlord is making $1,500 a unit for only the 20 units he had available. And then he can slowly start opening up more units at that fixed rate. And now, let's say another landlord who owned a property next to my landlord, he sees those rates and then he does the same. There you have an inflation of rent vis-a-vis a domino effect. The reason why the Department of Justice was so interested in this RealPages software is because that although rent prices were surging in 2016, they were noticing that there was an increased vacancy rate. So they were noticing that there were a lot more available apartments for what landlords were charging, which doesn't make any sense because if you have more vacancies, i.e. the rent should be coming down. So why was the rent increasing about 80% since 2016? Because of RealPages. Now the investigation started off as a civil probe, and now it's starting to look criminal. Remember, RealPages is the largest rental suggestion software in the nation. In the nation. So if all of our landlords are using the same software to suggest rent prices, then we got a problem. Because there's got to be a reason why the rent was so high. I'm going to keep you guys updated on this story, and as soon as the Department of Justice launches their first press conference about it, I'll keep you guys posted.